and welcome to Life Stories and Systems, where we talk about what's really going on in our homes, our lives, and what's working, what's messy, and what we're figuring out along the way.
Hi, I'm Meredy, and I help people make sense of their spaces and their photos.
And I'm Carla, and I'm passionate about helping women create systems that feel calmer and more intentional.
Fantastic. So great to be here with you today. And this month, we are going to be talking all about physical photos. So the boxes, the albums, the inherited pictures that many of us have tucked away. I know I do, in plastic tubs that are very hard to get to. And maybe we don't quite know what to do with all of them. So we thought we would just have a little chat about that and kind of what's working for us and maybe issues that we have faced and what we are doing about them.
Yeah, so I have loads of those photos that I inherited from mom and dad, and they're all sitting in my garage, Meredy, in tubs. So we've spoken about this for a while, and so I think the time is that we need to get those out and sort through them.
Yeah.
So
Yes, yes, exactly.
this,
So, I mean, just thinking about it, my first kind of thought that pops to my mind is just to obviously always make sure that wherever you're storing them, that they are safe from kind of any natural disaster, like maybe
yeah,
water or damp. I mean, obviously here in Hong Kong, we have lots of issues with humidity. So just kind of being aware of that would be one thing that I would think of. But then it's
for
also,
sure.
it's also, I was having a chat with a friend the other day. She was saying, oh, my husband's got this tub of photos and I really want him to do something with them, but I don't want to keep all of them. She said, because some of them are just random, like landscapes or things that, we probably don't even know what they are anymore. So that's kind of part of the process too, kind of thinking about, do we have to actually do something with all those photos? So that's something
Yeah, I'm
to
sure,
think about.
we have photos of one mountain. We don't need photos of 20 mountains, and in 20 years' time, nobody knows what that mountain is, right?
100%.
So,
Yeah, 100%. And as much as, we love looking at all those old photos, there are quality issues as well. Some of them
yes.
aren't the greatest kind of quality. So that's something that, we can help with a little bit. But it's something to think about when you're actually choosing what photos you want to keep. But we were also talking about, we are sure that many people are also dealing with inherited photos. Maybe we've had
Yes.
parents that have moved out of the family home and into a new premises, and suddenly you're having to kind of go through all these photos and kind of like, what do I do with them and who are all these people? Uh, so I'm sure, I don't know about you, but I know that my dad definitely has a lot of photos, and I would love to spend some time with him so we can actually sit together and find out who some of these people are, because he's, of all the kind of parents, he's the only one that's still alive. Like my mum has passed away, and so he's the kind of last remaining connection to the stories behind those photos and who those people are. So that's something that I'm definitely thinking about.
For sure. And we've got, so my son was born in the late 90s, Michael, as you know, and I guess Sarah too.
Sarah too, yeah.
So we got lots of photo albums with photos that we digitally
Yes. Yeah.
put them in, right? Like,
Like these.
yes, like those. And as you open them, you've got your whole story in them as well, right? So what do
Yeah.
we do with those
Yes.
as
Yes.
well?
Well,
That's the
it's funny
question.
because, yeah, no, absolutely. And I am the same, like you said. Sarah was born in 2000, so her early years are all pre-digital. And in fact, I feel like we maybe got a digital camera for when Riley was born in 2003, but I'm not sure because I was actually looking, it was his birthday the other day, and I was looking for some early baby photos and I could not find them on my computer. And I'm thinking, oh, I think they're all very nicely organized in my very heavy photo albums that I have in those tubs that are very hard to get to. But anyway, so I digress. Yes, these are actually out because I have been scanning them.
Right.
So yes, yes. So we have a scanner, and so we have been having a go at going through and scanning. These are old 1995 photos from trips that I had done when I did my big kind of overseas Europe trip. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with this kind of
Yeah,
situation.
absolutely. I've got exactly the same, right? So I think we're not the only ones. I'm sure there's a lot of people our similar age that will have all those photos, and it's now having to what to do with them, because do we
Yeah.
just leave them like as is, or do we try and put them onto our computer, into our photo library, right? So
Absolutely.
that's what we've started doing.
Yes.
With
Yes. So
the help of this photo scanner, we've started doing that. And right, so Merida, you've done a few, and how many do you think? How many photos could we get through in?
you mean like as in how long would it take to scan photos?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, so
like
this album I think holds like 300 photos.
yeah,
And I know that because it says it on my album, but I mean, a lot of people maybe they don't have it sitting in an album, they have it in a box or something like that, like my friend I was talking about. And so they really have no idea kind of how many photos they have.
yeah,
So one good rule of thumb is that about 1 inch in size, a stack of
yeah.
photos, like an inch, is about 100 photos. So that can
Okay.
if you kind of got your photos together and you could kind of then estimate, because maybe if people come to us and they're like, oh, we want you to do some scanning for us, but we have no idea how many photos, that is a way that, you can kind of roughly tell, how many photos that you have. One
Okay.
of the
So
things
this
that,
is a
oh,
service. Sorry, I just want to say this is a service we do provide, right? For
yes,
people in and around Hong Kong, if you'd like to, we can scan your photos.
yes,
So
yes,
then again, it will be really simple. Um, it keeps it simple, month, year, and maybe what the photos are about. So
yes,
for you, it would be 1995
yes,
trip
yes,
kind of thing.
yes, absolutely. So you'll notice obviously in my photos, I do have extra information. But what we do when we scan is we scan the photo, and yeah, you're right. So we have the information we can add is the year, the month, and a short description. So yes, it might be, Greek islands or Kentucky tour or wedding or something like that, but you can add some information that will be attached to the file. So when you upload that to your computer, it is going to have the date, the month, and a brief description of the image for you. What
Yeah.
I wanted to say was that one of the things I came across when I was scanning photos, and so if, for instance, somebody came to us and they said, oh, here, I've got 3 baby albums of photos, and I'd like
Yeah.
you to scan them for us. So one of the things that we have to think about too is that when we are, taking photos in and out of these albums, one, they can be a little bit tricky because they get a little bit stuck sometimes. So you have to be careful about that. And I also noticed that I couldn't just grab theirs and take out 300 photos and just scan them,
Yeah.
because then I obviously, a lot of the photos, I don't know exactly what they are. I have the information written on the side panel, but unless that photo is with that information, I actually don't know. So I did do them in smallish batches so that I could make sure that I was kind of keeping like photos with like things, and it just didn't become, a whole big mess. So, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, so when people send us stuff, how they send it to us in either in an album like
Mhm.
you have, or in an envelope or whatever it is, we'll keep that in the same way, and we
Yes.
scan it exactly the way it comes.
Yes, you're
So
absolutely right. Yeah.
a little prep work needs to be done beforehand, I guess, in getting all those photos ready to be scanned. And of course, if you don't want to do that, we can try and help you out there. But of course, we don't know what your photos are about, right? And who's who
Mm.
and which way they need to go. But we can certainly do that.
No, that's a really good point. So yeah, again, it's about the way the photos come to us is almost the way it would be matched, but digitally.
Yeah.
So yes, if you give us a big plastic tub filled with photos, that's fine. Yeah, like you said, we can do that and we can do our best. But obviously, the more organized and information you give us, the better the organization will be when we return it to you in a digital file, which we return to you via a USB, which you would then plug into your computer, and then you'd add that into your photo library.
So the next question I know I could hear people saying was like,
Yeah.
well, then what? Then it goes into my photo library, and then what? But that's
Yeah.
something we can help them with. That's kind of a different service
Yes,
altogether.
I was going to say that is a different conversation for another day, because yes, there's so many things that you could do with it. And my mind immediately goes, oh, you could do this, you could do a slideshow, you could do a photo book, you could just leave them in your photo library, you could add all the extra information. Yes, and it's a conversation for another day. Yeah, but basically, if you are in Hong Kong, this is a service that we can provide for you. So yes, you can just send us an email, which will add our email at the end, and you can just let us know, and we can provide you all the information and the next steps for going
Yep.
ahead with that project. So I think it would be fantastic. I would love to see some people getting those photos from those plastic tubs and then actually into the photo library so you can enjoy them and share them. And I think that'd be really lovely.
Yeah, we have started, we've done a few already, and it's been quite successful, right? So
Yeah,
um,
yeah, no, absolutely.
look, we're looking forward to doing some more of that.
Definitely, definitely. So moving on from
Yep.
visitor
Tell
photos.
me.
We last week had our very first coffee and clarity. Was it clarity and coffee? Coffee first, then some
Love and
clarity.
clarity.
Yes. Coffee morning last
Yes.
week here in Discovery Bay, which was such a success. So, how did you feel hosting that event for the first time?
It was quite nerve-wracking. We were like, oh, we're not sure how many ladies are going to come, and are they? And will it be just a morning of me and you chatting again, just the two of us having coffee, which is, not a bad
It's
thing, but
fine. It's
um,
fine.
yeah, but we were really, it was amazing to see that we had 12 ladies
We did.
come,
No, we were,
right?
wow, so many people.
So many people, and it was wonderful to meet them all. Some we knew and some we didn't. So it was nice. Long-term Discovery Bay residents that we are. We don't know everybody.
Might be surprised that we don't know everyone, but
Yeah. Yes, and what I found really interesting is that all these ladies came together because they were missing the connection.
Mm,
So, which is one of the reasons why we called our business Clear Curate Connect, was because of those connections that as you get older, you're missing out on, right?
yeah, absolutely. We were talking about the fact that, when you're in those kind of prime, really parenting phases of the children being younger, they're in school, maybe they're in sport and in music, you have concerts, events at school, that kind of thing. And you build a lot of connections with those people because you're seeing them every day, at drop off and pick up, you're seeing them beside the soccer field. So you're building those relationships. But as the children become older and or they leave to head off to university, suddenly you don't have that anymore. And also both being expats, we're also in an environment where people do leave and maybe
Yes.
go to another country or go back to the home country. So I think, especially post COVID, when a lot of people left, a lot of people,
Yeah.
yeah, just are missing that connection and that opportunity to come together. And so, yeah, it was so lovely to, one, meet some new people, and to just to hear that and how happy, and excited they were to maybe have this kind of regular connection with each other. So I thought I might just explain, because obviously there were only 12 people who came who know about it, about
Yep.
what we are kind of envisaging going forward and what we are doing in those sessions. So
Yeah.
basically the concept was the coffee mornings was to kind of have a place where, we can share what's happening with our lives, what things we're struggling with, what wins we're having. And we plan to have a theme each month. And next month, we are going to be talking about photos. So we thought we'd just have a little kind of theme that helps structure the coffee morning, but also then an opportunity for people to share about, one, how they're feeling about their photos, if they have any questions, or any other things that have been happening in their lives in the previous month. So that's, yeah, kind of how we plan to structure it moving forward. And we thought we can share perhaps each month on the podcast what we
What
talked about, or what kind of things came up.
and do you have something that you thought that came up that was that you took home with you? Like
Oh.
any
Interesting question. The takeaways. I
yeah.
think, I think number one, which we've already talked about, was I was surprised. One, I was surprised how many people came, but how many people were missing that, that
Yeah.
connection. And I was surprised too about some of the topics that came up, just because I don't know, I guess we gave people the opportunity to ask any questions if there were things that they wanted to know about. And so I thought that was interesting, just the diversity of conversation, and how we had a few people message after the coffee morning saying how much they loved meeting a diverse group of people. So normally
Yeah.
we kind of stay with our social circle and don't branch out that often. So I think it was, yeah, it was definitely fun. I really enjoyed hearing about, and people who obviously have certain strengths in areas, and how people in the group were making connections and wanting, oh, can I have the contact for that person, because you're amazing at sewing and my daughter wants to learn how to sew. So that was really so lovely as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I felt that too. I was interesting to hear about how wonderful it was that, yeah, like you said, diversity, and everybody's got their little strengths, right? Like you said, that lady that she does sewing, and there's somebody else who's, you know, about travel and things in and around Hong
Yes,
Kong.
yes, yes.
So, as I guess as we, because we're expats, and going back to your home country might be something that you'd be looking at. We all kind of get to a stage where we want to do a little bit more of sightseeing in Hong Kong, and what's there to see and what's not to see and what have you. So that was really interesting.
Mm.
So, and I think that maybe it would be a really nice idea to have some of these ladies come and have a little chat, as
Mm.
well, like
Mm.
present what they know, because everybody can benefit from that. So,
Oh,
yeah, that's
100%. Yeah,
I
100%.
love that.
Yeah. No, I thought that was great too. And I thought it was also interesting that somebody was talking about decluttering. And of course, we love talking about decluttering.
Yeah,
But one of the ladies commented how, she had to declutter really fast. I think it was maybe during COVID. I'm just trying to remember now. And how difficult that was, and maybe the regrets she has now, because she had to just literally throw out so much stuff. And because somebody had asked, oh, I'm planning to leave Hong Kong in maybe a couple of years,
oh,
I'd
yeah,
love to learn more about, or talk more about, what's that process look like, we're moving back to the home country, what things do we need to do before we move. And somebody said, oh, what things do we want to take back with us, and being really intentional about that. And this lady had said, oh, look, just do it. Give yourself enough time so that you're not in a situation where you're just so rushed that either you take everything, and then you get to the other end and you're thinking, why did I bring this? Or you've just done it. Yeah, exactly. Or you have just been so rash maybe and just thrown out everything, and then you have regrets about things that you parted with because you didn't have the time to really kind of sit with, oh, is that some drilling at your house?
Not in mine, somewhere in
I
the
mean,
building with
sorry.
like,
Yeah.
welcome to Hong Kong, sorry.
Welcome to Hong Kong and the land
It's
of
one of the particular sounds of Hong Kong, isn't it? You can't have any drilling without.
oh my gosh. In fact, we used to call it the Hong Kong anthem because everywhere you go, there is drilling. So that's right. We apologize. It is just part of living in Hong
Sorry.
Kong, living in apartments. No, that's okay. That's
So
okay.
shall I just let you talk and I'll mute myself?
Oh, no, no, no. It's fine. Before
Oh
we
dear.
sign off, I did want to ask you
Yes.
because we have Easter coming up. And so I was just wondering, do you have any plans yet? Or what do
Well,
you do Easter?
luckily for me, I
Hmm.
have all three boys here for Easter. So we're going to go back to a few of our little traditions, and one of those is Christmas lunch. Oh gosh, Easter lunch, Easter Sunday lunch, and yeah, they've already been saying, "Have you got that lamb, Mum?" So I usually do,
Ah,
slow cooked lamb, and
mm,
of course, for me, it's all about the chocolate desserts and which one shall I make? And do I
good.
have to make one, or could I make one or two? Right?
Yes.
Yes, but they will be putting, all three of them will be like, oh, can we have chocolate brownies? And I'm sure the other one will be like a chocolate mousse. So yeah,
It's
that
all
that
about the
always
chocolate,
brings back
yeah.
great memories for us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
What
and
about you?
well, I just want to say, if anybody doesn't know Carla, yes, she is amazing at cooking and hosting and always does a beautiful job. So yes,
Thank
yeah,
you.
she is my idol. I'll be messaging her when I move back to Australia one day. Carla, how do we make this?
Yeah.
So yes, what about me? Well, unlike you, yes, my lot are all in Brisbane. So although I do have one that may be coming up for Easter, so that would be really lovely. But
Fingers crossed.
yeah, it's fingers crossed. But yeah, it's very different because when we had the kids here, one of the big things we always did was the Easter egg hunt. And as they got
Yeah.
older, I had to get way more creative and come up with these, grand Easter egg hunts when they were teenagers because yeah, they just didn't want to do just a regular one. So certainly did lots of those kind of fun things. And we generally would go out because unlike Carla, yes, I am not the hostess with the mostess. But yeah, so I think for me, those traditions obviously aren't happening anymore because I'm not with the kids. So what I tend to do is I do send them Easter chocolates. So my favorite Australian Easter chocolate comes from a place called Hague's, and I'm not sure if you've heard of Hague's chocolate. Have I bought you any
No,
Hague's?
I was gonna say Hague's chocolate.
Next
No,
time I
not
go,
heard
next
of
time I go to
Hague's.
Australia, I need to bring you some back.
Okay, well, what's your favorite Hague's chocolate then? Like, what kind of chocolates do they make?
Oh, well, they do everything. So they're based out of Adelaide actually, and they do ship Australia wide now. So I can just order online and ship to them. And usually I'll send them some, they all have different chocolate that they like. So I'll send them different, kind of whatever their favorite is. But me, if I was picking it, my favorite is a fruit choc. So
What's a fruit choc?
a
There's
a
fruit in the
fruit.
chocolate?
Yes, there is. It's called, so it's FRU, fruit choc, fruit in the chocolate.
Fruit. Okay.
Yeah, so generally it's like a kind of apricot, I would say. Kind of like the apricot delight we used to get here, and the kids would have those squares.
Oh
You know
yeah. It's
those?
kind of like a Turkish delight.
Well,
Do
it
you know
tastes
what?
nothing like a Turkish delight, and not
No,
a
but
different texture.
okay. All right.
Yeah, no,
Well,
different.
maybe we shout out to Hague's and they can send us some
That's right.
send me some chocolates all the way in Hong Kong.
Can we partner? Can we do a shout out? It's such a good idea. You send us a few chocolates. That's funny. So yes, so I will generally send the kids some Easter chocolates, and I quite like those mini eggs, which are very British. You know, the ones with the candy shell. In fact, I had some last
Yes.
week. And they've got the Terry's British ones, you know, the chocolate orange ones.
Orange ones. Yeah.
So the orange
So
outside. Oh, I do love those too.
so in Hong Kong we get a lot of British kind of chocolates, right?
Yes,
Easter
yes, we do.
chocolate and Cadbury and what have you.
Yes.
Um, I'm assuming they from the UK and not Australia, but yeah, so we do get. I don't. Do you remember long ago when the kids were really small, we couldn't get any Easter
Oh, I
eggs
know.
in Hong
And you
Kong?
had to
It
get
was
in.
very hard to get
Yes,
them.
remember if it came out, that the Easter stuff came out, everyone's run down to the Fusion, which is our grocery store, to buy it really quickly because otherwise it'll be sold. Yes, I forgot about that actually. Yeah, now it's very
Yeah,
different. Now we can kind of get it at many different places. But no, in the early days, yeah. And I'd often bring it
yeah.
back from Australia.
Yes, I'd bring some back from South Africa. So
Mm.
we have in South Africa, we've got these little marshmallow little eggs. Do you
Oh,
remember
yes.
those?
Yes, yes. We have kind of, oh no, we have more like
And they,
a cream egg.
yeah. So yes, those are.
Anyway,
We used to bring
anyway.
back a box of those just for
Yes.
Easter.
Oh, nice, nice. I know in New Zealand they have like a marshmallow, quite a famous chocolate covered, oh, it's chocolate fish. So not
Oh
Easter
yeah, yeah.
related, but they're chocolate fish and they're filled with like marshmallow, like a pink kind of marshmallow. So yeah.
It's similar to the ones in South Africa.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes. Anyway, we digress.
see, we go back, we digress and talk about chocolate again.
Of course, of course. Anyway, so we both wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. And we just wanted to let you know that you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube at Clear Curate Connect, or you can send us an email at clearcurategconnect@gmail.com.
So yes, thank you so much for being here with us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
And remember, you don't have to do it perfectly.
You just have to take the next simple step.
See you next time.
Just bye.
Bye.